Good morning. I had walked down past the camp 15 minutes ago and I realized that the phone wasn't kicking in with the 4G connection. So I came back. I don't know what the issue is. And here we are using the Wi-Fi here in the house, so it will be less of a stroll today. And hopefully we'll have a blessed chat, even if we don't have much of a stroll. We'll move around the camera a little bit so it looks like we're strolling. So maybe for that reason also we do a little shorter, maybe just more focused on the content of the readings rather than all of the surroundings. And the readings are very tough today. Maybe it's good that we're sitting down. If I stand up, I'm in danger of walking a few steps and going outside the Wi-Fi zone. So I just decided I'll sit down. That'll keep me anchored here and within the range of the Wi-Fi. The readings are very, very tough. And when I look at these readings, the thought that came across my mind about 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, was thinking of Jeremiah the prophet. And the nature of a prophet is to speak on behalf of somebody. It's like a media spokesperson. Businesses have them, political parties have them, heads of state have them, companies have spokespeople, especially when there's problems. There's somebody that gets up and makes statements to the public. And a prophet is primarily that. Sometimes we associate in our mind that a prophet is about forecasting the future events. But that's just a little tiny bit of the impact of prophets. So, yeah, here the task of Jeremiah is absolutely not neutral. He's personally and deeply involved. And I think the reason for that is he loves in two directions. He loves God, or maybe it's all one direction, and he loves his people. But his people have gone away from God and from truth. And he's now bringing to their attention the consequences, but it's not something neutral for him. He is personally involved, and the opening words are, "Let my eyes stream with tears, day and night." One thing is for a little child to have a burst of tears over something that happened that upset the child. Something got broken, something got spilled, something went wrong, some tension with somebody, and the child bursts out in tears. And usually the parents know how to handle that, and for a moment or two, and just give it a little time, and we'll be on to new circumstances, and the child will be serene again. But here, let my eyes stream with tears day and night. And then there's another little bit added on, without rest. And then more is added on, over the great destruction which overwhelms the virgin daughter of my people. Her incurable wound. And then the picture that is so valid today in so many different theaters around the world where war is waged. And it says, if I walk out into the field, look, those slain by the sword. If I enter the city, look, those consumed by hunger, famine, Even the prophet and the priest forage in a land they know not. They're exiles, they're in Babylon. And it's about survival, like people in prison, in a concentration camp, and people that's persecuted, that are driven from their own land. So this is the the appraisal of the situation. And I think we shouldn't just stay fixed in the past 2.5 and more thousand years ago, but and also not just in the big conflict theaters of the world where war is waged and so many powers have stakes in these wars and are involved, but it's also in the family. Think of parents with a child that's on drugs, a spouse whose partner is addicted, the incurable wound, the eyes streaming with tears day and night without rest. And surely quite a portion of mankind goes through these kind of ordeals and sufferings. And maybe for that reason, these readings are very good now for us to ponder. And if we're so blessed that we don't have this kind of suffering, well, we can have solidarity with all those who do. But also we can be trained for the moments that can become reality also in our lives, because we don't have a hold of circumstances that we control reality. There's so many dynamics working in the world, in our health, in the economy, in politics. None of us know what's going to happen next year. And it's good that we're trained to also be a help and a sustaining pillar for people in times of great need. And there are today many around the world. And that pillar of support can, first of all, be very effectively prayer. Let's not underestimate that. So let's move on with Jeremiah in his thoughts, and he's now speaking with God. Have you cast off Judah completely? Why have you struck us a blow that cannot be healed? We wait for peace to no avail, for a time of healing, but terror comes instead. And then there's a new movement after that in his thoughts. And this is also really where parents have a big challenge, and teachers and coaches and people in public office responsible for people, for cities, for towns, for companies, for all kinds of human life organizations. And to come before God and say, Lord, we recognize our wickedness, the guilt of our fathers, bad decisions that were made. It's so challenging to talk to people about an approaching addiction because of behaviors that the person feels are enjoyable. They feel that they have a right to this type of consumption. They have justifications to do it. they say, yeah, they won't have these consequences. Not in my case, you know, I'm a strong person. I can handle it. I've been there, you know, I've been around a while doing this, but you know, the health bill comes in. Or my dad used to say, the birds come home to roost. The consequences will become evident. And so then there's a prayer. We recognize, O Lord, our wickedness, that we have sinned against you. And an appeal, even if we don't have any merit, any right, any basis for, it says, suing God or demanding God fix us. It's a humble prayer that he brings now. For your own name's sake, spurn us not. Because we're the ones that are called to be witnesses of your love. And we're crumbling into complete breakage and disruption. Fix us, Lord, so that we don't become a disgrace for your name. It's a very mighty prayer, and it's a prayer from the realism of the brokenness of humanity, but also the realism of knowing God and his love and his mercy. Is it not you alone, O Lord, our God, to whom we look? You're the only one that can give rain. Imagine in a desert, it's like one of the neediest blessings. You're the only one who can give us the rain we need for our fields. The sky can't give us the rain. You give us the rain. Remember your covenant with us and break it not. You'd have every right to break the covenant because we've been unfaithful to the covenant. I find this extraordinarily powerful, and also the corresponding Psalm 79, various verses of it. For the glory of your name, O Lord, deliver us. Remember not against us our iniquities of the past. May your compassion, your mercy quickly come to us, for we are brought very low. And to recognize that is also to open the path for healing. To recognize that situation before God, his immense love, his power as creator, his covenant with us, his plan for our lives. Remember, Lord, that we, your people, and the sheep of your pasture will give thanks to you forever. Through all generations we will declare your praise. With your great power, free those doomed to death. Let the prisoners come sighing, come before you. And then we have, again, the explanation of the parable of the weeds in the field. And we had that also, I think, on, I think it was a Saturday or Sunday. So you're familiar with that. And we we can pray for all those people who need deep change of life so they don't wreak havoc on themselves and on others. People think you technically bound here just to the Wi-Fi. So God bless you. See you later, alligators.